What's up everyone and welcome back to the channel. Let's dive into our first news. RDR has revealed some troubling updates regarding his health following his recent fight. Back on October 18th, RDR suffered a shocking loss to Brendan Allen, a result that surprised a lot of fans in the MMA world. The fight was intense, and by the end of the fourth round, RDR could barely walk back to his stool. His corner made the decision to throw in the towel, stopping the fight before things got worse. At that moment, many people assumed it was simply exhaustion or a severe cardio dump. However, it turns out the situation may be more serious than anyone realized. In a recent interview with Submission Radio, RDR opened up for the first time since the fight. He explained that he's still dealing with noticeable physical issues and that something is clearly not right. He mentioned that even simple tasks like walking up the stairs leave him out of breath. This is not normal for a professional athlete, especially one who prides himself on conditioning and grappling endurance. The fact that more than 2 weeks passed and the symptoms still remain raised even more concern. When the interviewers asked whether doctors provided a diagnosis, RDR said that doctors have indeed found things in his blood work and medical tests. However, he refused to go into detail. He said if he reveals exactly what it is, he might never get a rematch. That statement alone shows how complicated the situation is. It suggests that if the condition became public knowledge, it could potentially affect how matchmakers in the promotion look at him in the future. Still, he made it clear that whatever the issue is, it isn't a virus and it's not something temporary. He also revealed that this isn't the first time he's dealt with the issue. He struggled with a similar problem back during the second Malikan fight. At the time, he believed he had fixed the issue and moved past it, but clearly it came back and this time it showed up at the worst possible moment. Fans online have been speculating whether RDR might be dealing with a lingering illness, a collapsed lung, or simply severe cardio fatigue due to the grappling heavy exchanges. Some people pointed out that RDR has always been known for his dominant grappling and pressure style, so seeing him fade that way was unusual. Despite everything, RDR said he is committed to solving the issue before returning. He wants to fix his body, rebuild his strength, and come back stronger. He's not looking for excuses, just answers and recovery. He intends to return when he's fully ready and will face whoever the promotion decides next. And before we continue, make sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe to help support the channel. Moving on to another news. Leon Edwards is laying out a clear and confident path to becoming champion again, and he believes the journey starts at UFC 322. He's set to face Carlos Prates on the main card, and for Leon, this matchup represents something he's been waiting for. After spending years fighting grapplers and strong wrestling-heavy opponents, Leon says he's excited to get back in there against a striker, where he feels he can truly open up his skill set and flow more naturally. He explained that the division right now is wide open, and he sees a big opportunity to climb right back to the title. He shared that the time away from competition has actually helped him. The break allowed him to reset mentally, regain his hunger, and refine the parts of his game that he felt needed sharpening. He said he feels better than ever heading into this fight, with the kind of focus and clarity that he didn't have during the end of his title run. He emphasized that training camp has gone well. His preparation has been sharp, and he's stepping into fight week feeling ready, motivated, and locked in. Leon also discussed how the upcoming schedule in the welterweight division lines up perfectly. On his card, he fights Prates, and the very next week, Belal Muhammad faces Ian Gary. According to Leon, whoever puts on the most impressive performance between those fights should get the next title shot. And for Leon, the goal is to not just win, but to make a statement, reminding everyone that he's still one of the best in the world. He talked about what it means to fight at Madison Square Garden. He said it's the type of arena that fighters dream about, where legends have made history. He wants to look back one day when he's older and done with the sport and be able to say he performed under those lights. That alone adds motivation, energy, and purpose to this moment in his career. Leon said that he sees this as the perfect time to show who he truly is. Prates has been gaining attention, he has momentum, he's exciting, and he's coming off a big finish. Leon respects him, but believes that beating him decisively proves that Leon is still at the top of the division. After that, Leon wants one more fight in early March or April, ideally against Ian Gary if Gary gets past Belal. Leon said that fight makes sense for determining the #1 contender, and it would set him up perfectly for a world title fight in the summer. He sees the path clearly. Beat Prates, get the fight with Gary, win that, and then return to the top and fight for the title once again. He said he's motivated, excited, focused, and ready to show the world the best version of himself. Moving on to another news. JDM has cleared up a big misconception surrounding his upcoming fight with Islam Makhachev. Ever since the matchup was announced, a lot of fans and analysts have been talking about how JDM might have a significant size advantage going into the fight. Many assumed that because he competes at welterweight, he would naturally be much heavier and stronger on fight night than Islam, who spent his career at lightweight. But it turns out the situation is very different from what people expected. During a recent conversation with Ariel Adesanya, JDM revealed that he actually walks around at the exact same weight as Islam Makhachev. He said that his normal walk-around weight is roughly 87 kilograms, which is about 191 pounds. That number is the same weight Islam himself has previously mentioned as his own walk-around weight outside of fight camp. camp. So, contrary to the narrative that JDM will be the noticeably bigger and more physically imposing fighter, both men are essentially the same size in terms of natural body weight. JDM explained that he has always been a welterweight. He mentioned that he had one fight at middleweight early on, but besides that, welterweight has been his home for nearly his entire career. When asked if his body still feels like it's growing, or if he sees himself staying in the division long term, he said that his weight cuts are very manageable. They're not effortless, but they aren't extreme or punishing either. He made it clear that cutting down to lightweight is not something he would consider, because that would require pushing too far and draining himself in a way that wouldn't be healthy or sustainable. He described that when he's not in camp, he sits around 87 kilograms, especially after a full meal. During training camp, he's usually closer to 85 kilograms, making the cut down to 77 kilograms for welterweight relatively straightforward. He said it's a consistent and controlled cut, one that doesn't require crazy last-minute dehydration. This directly challenges the idea that JDM will be significantly larger than Islam in the cage. Instead, the fight looks like it will be much more about skill, pace, timing, and style rather than size. Both fighters are coming in at nearly identical physical frames, which adds an even more interesting dynamic to the matchup. The narrative now shifts from size versus technique to simply two elite fighters meeting on equal physical footing. Moving on to another news, Jiří Procházka has once again shown why he's one of the most unique and fascinating personalities in the fight world. During a recent conversation with Demetrius Johnson, he explained that his approach to cutting weight isn't like most fighters. While many go through extreme dieting, dehydration, sauna sessions, and strict calorie control, Jiří says he does none of that. Instead, he claims that he uses the power of his mind and his deep connection with his own body to naturally lean down during fight week. He shared that before weigh-ins, he doesn't keep a special diet, doesn't force himself to avoid foods, and doesn't obsess over numbers on the scale. According to him, the process happens almost automatically. He said that his body simply understands what is needed. When fight week approaches, he starts to feel that he needs to go down a bit, and somehow, naturally, his weight begins to drop. He emphasized that he doesn't consciously push for it. There's no strict cutting phase. He trains normally, eats what he wants within reason, stays mindful, and his body falls into the needed range. During the conversation, Demetrius asked if Jiří is using sauna sessions, sweating techniques, or perhaps eating cleaner to help the process along. But Jiří made it clear that he maintains consistency.
He doesn't panic or change routines.
He believes that controlling the mind and listening to the body allows him to shift his weight without forcing it. He described the process almost as a form of meditation, where he visualizes the goal weight and trusts his body to follow. For many fighters, this type of weight cut sounds impossible. Most athletes spend intense days sweating out several kilos before stepping on the scale. They monitor everything they eat, drink, and burn. Meanwhile, Jiří frames his weight management as something that happens through natural alignment and mental clarity. He spoke about how he can almost sense the exact moment when his weight is about to drop. He pays attention to how he feels physically and mentally, and the change begins. The way he talked, it wasn't about magic or tricks. It was about discipline of the mind, self-awareness, and a deep commitment to understanding his own physical rhythms. It's one of the things that separates him from so many others in the sport, not just in fighting style, but in life philosophy. Moving on to another news, Ariel Helwani recently spoke out regarding Dana White's latest comments, and once again, the long-running tension between the two has resurfaced. A few weeks back, fans were shocked when it seemed like both sides were attempting to bury the hatchet publicly. Given their history, no one really believed it would last, but many still hoped things were cooling down. However, after Dana took aim at one of Ariel's reports, accusing him of twisting information purely for drama and headlines, the situation escalated again. The report in question involved claims that over 100 fights were under review for potential fixing. Dana directly called this out, saying Ariel exaggerated the situation just to stir controversy. According to Dana, this was nothing more than clickbait, designed to inflame the MMA world. Ariel responded by saying that, from his perspective, the attacks prove he is doing his job effectively. He stated that Dana has made things personal, while he has repeatedly attempted to take the high road. Ariel explained that he cannot ignore or downplay what is happening, especially when multiple fighters have publicly admitted to being approached by people attempting to influence outcomes. These past weeks have already been intense for the UFC. The controversy began with the eye poke incidents involving Aspinall and Costa, followed by heated discussions online and debates over rule enforcement. Now, with allegations of potential fight fixing circulating and betting investigations being discussed, the situation has reached another level entirely. Ariel emphasized that he did not create this story out of nowhere. He pointed out that there is public evidence of fighters acknowledging unusual approaches regarding fights, making a deeper investigation a logical response. On the other side, Dana insisted that the situation has been exaggerated beyond reality. He explained that the first step the organization took was contacting federal authorities. According to Dana, he met with the FBI twice in a single day to address the matter thoroughly. He stated that their company works with IC360, a group that monitors monitors all betting activity. Dana stressed that they are the best in the business, and that claims of hundreds of fights being investigated are simply false. He labeled such claims as typical online clickbait, clarifying that while there are always routine checks, nothing on the scale being reported is happening. Once again, the tension between Ariel and Dana appears far from over, and even though attempts to move forward were made, this situation has brought all the old conflict right back to the surface. Moving on to another news, Jon Jones has finally spoken out on Tom Aspinall's fight with Ciryl Gane, and his reaction has stirred up even more conversation around the heavyweight division. As many fans know, Jones has been trolling Aspinall ever since the eye poke incident at UFC 321. Right after the fight, Jones changed his profile picture to himself wearing an eye patch. Then at a promotional event, he even brought a horse with an eye patch, making the whole situation into a running joke. But up until now, Jones hadn't actually sat down and broken down the fight itself in any real way. That changed when the No Scripts podcast released a preview clip featuring Jones reacting to Tom Aspinall versus Ciryl Gane. In the clip, Jones gave Aspinall some recognition as an athlete, but his comments quickly shifted into heavy criticism. He said that he believes Aspinall is a one-trick pony. According to Jones, Aspinall's wrestling and jiu-jitsu are incredibly overrated, and what really stands out about him is just his clean 1-2 combination. Jones said that in Aspinall's previous performance, he noticed predictable patterns, and those patterns would be easy to exploit. When discussing the fight itself, Jones argued that Ciryl Gane actually looked comfortable and in control early on. He pointed out that Gane had his hands down, was loose, bouncing on his feet, shaking his shoulders, and landing clean jabs. He mentioned that Gane even opened Aspinall up with strikes and appeared relaxed while doing it. To Jones, that was a sign that Gane was just starting to get warmed up and find his rhythm. Jones also suggested that Aspinall was feeling the pressure in that moment. He went as far as to say that Aspinall was looking for a way out, and that when the opportunity came, he took it. Jones claimed that Aspinall needs to completely change his approach if he wants any chance of handling the top fighters in the division. He implied that Aspinall's style only works if everything goes perfectly, but once he faces someone who doesn't give him those ideal openings, his game falls apart. What makes these comments even more notable is that they come during a time when fans are debating who truly stands at the top of the heavyweight division. Aspinall has been climbing with impressive finishes. Gane is still viewed as one of the most technical heavyweights ever, and Jones continues to position himself as the king of the division, despite not defending his title recently. Jones didn't hold back, but he also didn't sound emotional. He sounded calculated, as if he's already studying for a possible future matchup. Whether fans agree or not, the clip shows Jones is paying attention, watching closely and preparing. The rivalry between these heavyweights isn't just about belts anymore. It's about legacy, pride, and proving who truly runs the division. Moving on to another news. The MMA community has been reacting heavily to recent comments made by Jon Jones about Tom Aspinall. After a clip of Jones discussing Aspinall's skill set and overall ranking in the heavyweight division began circulating online, fans started debating whether Jones was being honest, dismissive, or simply trying to protect his legacy. In the clip, Jones talked about how people may be overhyping Aspinall, calling aspects of his game basic, and pointing out that heavyweight fights often don't show the same level of depth as other divisions. But the responses to this were sharp, with many bringing up Jones's own history and questioning his motives. Some fans pointed out that Jones went to a split decision with Thiago Santos, who was essentially fighting on one leg during that bout. Others mentioned how Jones took Anthony Smith and Osp to 5 rounds, and how many still believe that Reyes clearly beat him the night they fought. For those fans, Jones calling Aspinall overrated didn't sit well, especially since Jones reportedly turned down a massive $30 million offer to fight him. People started saying things like, if he was such an easy win, why not take the fight? Why talk about protecting your legacy when at the same time calling the guy overrated? They questioned the logic, saying if it was such an easy resume booster, the fight should have happened already. There were also fans who agreed with Jones. They pointed out that Aspinall relies heavily on a simple 1-2 combination. They noted that Gane, when he fought, had his hands down and looked loose, yet Aspinall didn't show a large range of technique before the eye poke incident in the rematch buildup. They argued that the heavyweight division as a whole is unpredictable. It can be the most exciting because anyone can get knocked out at any moment, but also the most frustrating because fighters gas out quickly, and some reach the belt without facing the same technical depth seen in lighter divisions. At the same time, supporters of Aspinall responded by reminding everyone that Aspinall has been dealing with long stretches of inactivity. They said staying out of the octagon for nearly 2 years while waiting for Jones to accept the fight absolutely leads to rust. Training camps help keep fighters sharp, but nothing replaces real live competition under the pressure of a real fight. They argued that the Aspinall who stepped into the cage recently shouldn't be judged too harshly because the timing, the momentum, and the rhythm simply weren't there. Some fans believe that if Aspinall gets the rematch with Gane and comes in active, focused, and fully prepared, he could show even more. Others believe Jones will only consider fighting him if everything aligns perfectly in his favor. But for now, the debate continues, and the heavyweight division remains one of the most unpredictable landscapes in the sport. Moving on to another news, Team Khabib's longtime training partner Josh Thompson recently gave an inside look at Islam Makhachev's preparation ahead of UFC 322, offering fans a closer understanding of just how locked in Islam is right now. According to Josh, Islam is looking sharper, faster, and more dangerous than ever. And when that kind of praise comes from someone who has trained with Islam for years, it holds real weight. Josh explained that Islam's timing, chain wrestling, and transitions have all leveled up, and he's carrying the type of confidence that doesn't come from hype, but from consistent and grueling work in the gym. Ahead of this fight, Islam himself spoke about his opponent. He praised JDM's composure, mentioning that even when the pressure is high, JDM stays calm and never rushes into panic. Islam acknowledged that while JDM's wrestling may not be at the elite level, his striking and boxing are absolutely world-class. Even when JDM gets taken down, he doesn't give up easy positions, doesn't scramble wildly, and doesn't gas out trying to escape. That calmness makes him very dangerous, especially in deep exchanges or late-round situations. Now moving up, after 4 dominant lightweight title defenses, which stand as the most in lightweight history, Islam is chasing greatness at 170 pounds. But the challenge in front of him is no easy task. JDM has not lost in 18 straight fights and shocked the world by defeating Bal Muhammad to claim the welterweight belt earlier this year. That performance reminded everyone that JDM is not just a skilled fighter, but one who can rise to the occasion under the brightest lights. UFC 322 is shaping up to be one of the most anticipated cards of the year. Both fighters walk into the cage with massive momentum and powerful narratives behind them. Josh made it clear that while he is obviously picking Islam, he still believes this fight is far more dangerous than the fight Islam had with Dustin Poirier. The difference, according to Josh, is that the weight cut will not drain Islam the way it used to at lightweight. Without the extreme weight cut, Islam will be fresher, stronger, deeper into rounds 4 and 5, and that could completely change the pacing of the fight. Josh also emphasized how Islam's grappling continues to grow. Over the years, he has seen Islam give world-class black belts overwhelming problems in training. Fighters couldn't sweep him, couldn't escape, and constantly had to defend choke attempts, arm attacks, and positional traps. Islam has refined his setups for guillotines, Darce chokes, anacondas, kimuras, and side chokes to the point where a single mistake can lead to the end of the fight. With that in mind, Josh believes Islam has a real chance to finish the fight in rounds 2 or 3 once the openings start to show. That's it from MMA Pulse News. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for daily MMA news.